Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Jenny. Today's video is going to be a first impressions of the LA Girl Hot Hot Heat eyeshadow palette. I found this at CVS. I was shopping for other reasons and then of course came across this and had to have it. I have not even taken the protective sheet off of this yet. This is what it looks like on the inside. I am really excited. I'm going to kind of get into some details about this palette first and how I found it and all of the pricing information before we jump in and do an eye tutorial, see how these perform. I will swatch all of these shadows. I'm really excited to try this out because I have not tried any of the LA Girl eyeshadows before. I have tried a brow product and some lipsticks I think from them, but I haven't tried a whole lot from this brand actually, so I was really excited to see this. So a little bit about this palette. This palette was $14.99, which I think is a little steep for LA Girl, but I'm not completely sure because I haven't tried a lot from them. And I do believe that this palette, as well as its sister palette, I will throw a picture of it up here for you. It was more colorful and more exotic, and I wasn't really drawn to that one as much as I was this one, but there are two with two color variations. Both of them were $14.99. CVS's website says that both of these eyeshadow palettes are online only, but I will let you know in the description box below if they are available on the LA Girl website. So I did just take the protective cover off, but I am going to hang on to it because it does have the names on it. That is unfortunate. I wish that the names were written on the actual palette, but I do believe they are written on the back, right? Yeah, they are on the back. So this is what the eyeshadow palette looks like. It has a nice mixture of some like nice purples as well as some like nice neutrally kind of mauvey browns down here. It does seem to have a nice mixture of matte and shimmer. I do really enjoy that, and this mirror is absolutely amazing. It is a really good quality mirror, and it does kind of stand up on its own as well. It is nice that you can just sit it on your vanity and it tilts back enough that you can use it while it's sitting instead of you having to hold it and finagle it staying up. I have actually not seen this palette until I picked it up today in store, so I am really excited to see how the quality is. I'm really excited to see the pigmentation of these, so I don't know if I want to do swatches first or what. Let's do some swatches first. That'll be fun. Ooh, these feel really, really nice. Here is the first row. First we have Energize, which is really, really similar to my skin tone. Holiday. Ooh, that's really pretty. Staycation. And Relax. How am I going to do this? I feel really... That is row 1. Next row we have Resort. Sunbathe, which is kind of chunky, actually. That's a really pretty color, though. Beach Please. That's adorable. That is gorgeous. And Vacay, which is a lot less pigmented than I was hoping and expecting, because it looks like a really beautiful deep berry shade, but we will definitely play around with that color today and see how that works on the eyes. Next row we have First Class. Holy crap, that is gorgeous. Then we have Flame, Voyage, which is kind of like a satiny matte. It does have a tiny bit of a sheen. And then we have Fiesta, which is also very chunky, but that is really pretty too. So that's what's happening with that shade. I don't know why it's like smearing as opposed to wiping off. It's really strange. In this last row we have Cabana, which is a really nice matte brown. Then we have Jet Setter, Passport. Ooh, that's beautiful too. And Getaway. This one also kind of has a little bit of a satiny sheen to it, but I don't necessarily think that it'll be performing as a satin. As a whole, I think that those swatches look really nice, and I'm really excited to see how these shadows perform. So I'm going to zoom you in and let's see how these apply to the eyes. So I have already primed my eyelids, and I did already go ahead and do my brows. I don't have any other face makeup on because I wanted to do my eyes first, so in case there's fallout or anything. So going in with a flat, fluffy brush, I'm going to go into the shade Energize. I am sorry if that is blinding you, and I am going to just use that to set down the eyeshadow primer. There is a lot of fallout from me tapping off the excess. I don't know if you can see that. I think you can on the mirror. A lot of product kick up. So going into the shade Flame down here with the Morphe M433, I've really been enjoying this brush. I'm going to go into the crease and the outer V, but I want to take this all the way through the crease. I don't want to stop halfway through. Wow, that's pretty pigmented on first application. I wasn't expecting it to be that much intensity all at once. So I really like the shape of this brush. Like, I have been using this brush and this brush only for the past few weeks. I mean, I'll use a smaller brush for like outer V work if I'm wanting to do something more in depth, but as a whole, I've just been using this brush, and I love the way that it applies shadow so like effortlessly, but the brush quality is absolutely horrible. It is the scratchiest brush I've ever used. And to be honest, most Morphe brushes themselves are very, very scratchy. I'm not a huge fan of Morphe brushes. Their shadows are pretty good depending on depending on the palette. But as a whole, I'm not a fan of their brushes, but I know lots of people rave about this one, and I understand why now, because it applies shadow so easily and effortlessly and beautifully, but man, like, it's so scratchy. It's hurting my eyelid right now, but beauty's pain, right? So if you know of a shape dupe for this brush, let me know, because I would buy 10 of them. Because I love the shape and I love how it applies, but it really just feels uncomfortable when I apply shadow. But if that's what I have to live through to have beautifully blended shadows, then I guess I shall do it for the rest of my life. So taking that same brush and going into the shade Voyage, I'm going to just take a little bit of that on the actual crease of my eye, and then take it down onto the outer V as well. Now, taking a fluffier brush, I'm going to go into the shade Vacay down here. And I'm going to run this into the crease and outer V as well. I'm going to kind of transition the outer part into a more purpley look, I think is the direction I'm wanting to go with this, because I do want to touch into some of those purples. So far, I feel that the quality is really nice of these mattes. I think that they're blending really nice, and I feel like they're working really nicely together with the handful that I've used so far. I don't have any complaints right now. And I am obsessed with just this look right now. I think it looks really, really pretty and tropical, just with this little bit of like purple in the outer corner. It's not even really purple, it's more of like a magenta, I guess. So now taking a small detail brush and going into the shade Jet Setter down here, I'm going to keep this kind of close into the outer V area only, and then slightly up into the crease. I don't want to take this past the outer V. I want to keep the purpley mauve tones on the outer portion of the eye. So now I want to go into the shimmery purple, and that is the shade Relax. I want to kind of take this and see if I can turn it into a matte out here and get like a really purpley look out of it. The shimmers do seem a bit stiff in formula. They kind of remind me of the Morphe, like the older palettes. So like when the 35O first came out, how the shimmers kind of had that weird, almost oily texture. They're not really oily, but they feel heavy, I guess, is kind of the texture of them. This doesn't seem to be doing exactly what I want it to, but it's not completely failing either. It is adding purple, and it is adding a nice amount of shimmer without being like completely metallic. So I don't hate that, but it's not doing completely what I wanted it to. I'm now going to mix it in with a little bit of the shade Holiday and just see what that does. Yeah, that did it a little more. That's a little bit more what I was looking for. So now I'm going to do that one more time with the shade Passport and see what kind of purple I can get on the very outer corner of the eyes. As a whole, I'm really enjoying this look so far. It's very sunset, I suppose, with the purples and the oranges and stuff. And I do think I'm going to go back in with a little bit more of that orange and then just kind of deepen up the crease a little bit with that. So now I'm going to put some shimmer on the inner half of the eye, see how those shimmers work. So the shade I am going to go in with is Beach Please, which is this pretty kind of bronzy pinkish shade. And I am going to put this on the inner half of the eyes. That's a really pretty payoff. That looks really pretty. I really like how this looks. I was going to put another color on top, but I don't know that I'm going to. I might put that color on the inner corner though, because I like the way that this looks. I am going to go in with my pinky finger and just kind of pack that color on though. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I do think that the shimmers definitely apply more punchy with a finger, but I think most shimmers are like that. As a whole, this looks beautiful. I'm really, really excited with how that looks on the eyes. I'm definitely going to wear this palette to work tomorrow and see how they wear throughout the day, and I will put that in the description box as well, because I'm probably going to edit this tomorrow and upload it this coming Friday. So now, for liner, I'm going to take the shade Getaway down here, and I'm going to take an angled brush, and I'm just going to lightly kind of run this through the lash line, and then I'm going to kind of smudge it a little bit too. So that I don't feel that this is actually dark enough to be a liner for my personal taste. Not with this look anyway. I think with just those browns in the crease, or like the orangey shades in the crease, I think that this would have been okay. By itself, I don't feel that it does a whole lot, so I am going to stop. So it is actually like 9:30 at night right now that I'm playing with this palette, so I'm actually not going to put foundation and concealer and all of that on just to take it off. So what I am going to do is just go ahead and clean up my under eyes, and we'll go ahead and finish the rest of this eye look just to kind of play around with it. So far, I'm really impressed. I think that it applies really nicely, and I think it looks really great. I like this look a lot. Is it too bold for work? Do I really even care? Because I feel like I don't. I really like how this looks. So taking a pencil brush and going into those two orange shades that you can't see in the camera right now, I am going to just run this all over the lower lash line. Taking a little baby pencil brush, I'm going to go into these two purpley shades right here and run that on the outer portion of the lower lash line. So this got really smoky and sultry. This is definitely no longer work appropriate on the lower lash line. It just got really smoky really fast. I actually really, really like this look. I feel like it's really saucy and editorial, and I feel really cool and fancy. So now with a detail brush, I'm going to go into the shade Fiesta down here. Oop, right here. Put that on the inner corners of the eyes. This shade isn't as bright as what I would normally put on the inner corners. Like, it is bright, like as you can see that shine right there. But when I tilt my head back, you can see that like peachy underlying color. And that's not something that I would normally put on the inner corner. So that is something that is like a little baby gripe about this palette. I feel like there aren't any true highlight shades that don't have like some underlying color in it. Because this one has a lot of like pinky shades in it as well. So that is my one big gripe. So I did go ahead and put on some mascara, and I did throw on a lipstick and a lip gloss just to kind of balance my face out. But as a whole, I'm really impressed with this. First impressions, I'm blown away. I think that this looks really pretty. I think you can get a lot of looks out of this. You can go completely warm. You can go completely rosy. You can mix and match like I did today. I feel like you can get quite a few looks out of this. As a whole, this is a very warm leaning palette. There aren't any cool tones. This might be a little bit cool tone, but the rest of this is very warm leaning, including the purples. They do have more red than they do blue in them. So I do feel if you are into a more neutral, more cool tone look, you are not going to like this one, but definitely check out that more colorful one if you are into more bold looks, because if the quality is like this, then I think it is going to end up being good. I of course have not worn this palette for any extended period of time, so I do want to give this a couple more tries. I want to wear it throughout the day at work tomorrow. I want to see how this wears. This palette will end up in my favorites or fails video, because if you haven't watched a favorites and fails video of mine, I do have 3 categories. I have my favorites, fails, and the in-between products. So this is bound to land in one of those 3 categories, because as of now, it looks absolutely stunning and I cannot wait to play around with this more. Like I said earlier, this is not available online, but if I can find it so you can at least look at it online, I will link it down below for you. But make sure that you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so that you know when my favorites and fails comes up. That will be in a few weeks, because oh my gosh, it's like the middle of May. I'm starting to panic a little bit. But as a whole, first impressions, really excited to use this. I have really high hopes for this. This look looks beautiful. I'm really excited about it. It gives me some like sultry 70s vibes or something. I don't really know why, but I really like this so far. Really looking forward to playing around with this. Also, have you seen this palette anywhere? I haven't heard a thing about it, and I'm really excited. So have you heard about this? Let me know down below if you have, or if you've seen it, or if you're interested. I would love to hear your thoughts. So that has been my first impression of the LA Girl Hot Hot Heat eyeshadow palette. Thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you would like to subscribe, please feel free, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys!